everybody, Josh Jr. here for another in-shop adventure. Today, we are talking about Obsidian. In this video that's coming up, I actually filmed a little while ago, and it never got released. So I thought, now's a good time for it, because of some comments made in a particular Facebook group. Yes, we're going cross-platform here. The Facebook group was called Oregon Rockhounds and Beachcombers, where they were saying that some of the material that I have and I'm working on is not obsidian, rather it's basalt. So, I thought I would go ahead and publish this particular video and make sure that as many of those people who have that thought process see it. Yeah, I'm being ornery. That's okay. That's just how I am. That's how I roll. So enjoy the video. It's some actually pretty good information, especially if you're trying to tumble obsidian. Sorry, still not giving out the final steps, because as I think I might want to help more people out, my procedures bit me, and I have a really bad fail on my hands. So, heck, I'm still learning this stuff. So sit back and enjoy this next segment. Hey everybody, Josh Jr. here for another in-shop adventure. So we are sitting here looking at a batch of obsidian that's in progress of being tumbled. This is completed 120, 220 medium grit. Not step 2 or step 1, step 4, whatever people want to use. When you talk about where you're at in your tumbling progress, specifically say what grit level you're at. This way, if you're having problems, there is absolutely no issues on where you're at. So, this has completed 120, 220 medium grit. So, the purpose of this is to inspect every one of these to make sure that they are meeting my standard to move on to pre-polish and final polish, so we can achieve this. This is the goal of us, what we're trying to achieve. So I took them out of this bucket, and I left the ones in the bucket that have minor flaws. And the reason why I did that, see, even that one right there, is because this is filler material for when I am done with my 6090 out of the beast. So I will take this and I will put it in those barrels to bring it up to the level that I want it to be at. And then, since these are not, the flaws on these are not too bad. Actually, that one there, let's look at that. Let's look at that one here. I don't see any flaws on it. So that one goes into that pile. Let's find one here with some flaws on it. So, another round of medium grit, 120, 220 grit, may correct these. So that's what the purpose of this batch here is. This is another one without a flaw. Let's look at it again. Nope, there's one. So back in the bucket it goes. So I've also talked about having rock for filler in your regular tumbling batches. And especially when you're done with 122, when you're especially done with your coarse grits, your 36 grit, your 4670 grit, and your 6090 grit, or your 80 graded grit. Yes, lots of options. But it is nice to have this material to use as filler to bring the level of the material up in the barrels back to where it should be at. So I've already gone through the inspection process. There's little marks here like that on this one. I think it's going to be okay. That one there looks good. And look, a couple little marks on that one, but not too worried about that. No marks on that one. So basically went through all these and made sure that there's nothing that's going to prevent getting a polish like this. Or like this, despite the fingerprints. See, look how shiny. When this stuff is too shiny, fingerprints show up really good on it. So that's what I do. Now, this is going into medium grit. So it's time to introduce media. Yes, you hear it. That is like my media mix. Ceramics and small pieces of Obsidian. And over time, especially when I'm going to be tumbling this stuff, there'll be some small pieces in there that will just stay in with my tumbling media. Works great. Again, being able to get results like this, less the fingerprints. There are all kinds of things that a person can do. So this stuff here will be rolling or processing for 3 days in a vibe. Highly modified vibe, I should say. Because every piece of equipment I have, I've modified for Obsidian. Every piece. Because nothing else worked right. I ended up with some of the most horrifically bad material until I started tweaking with equipment, tweaking with the recipes, tweaking with my water quality, tweaking with the additives, tweaking with the media, tweaking with everything. And occasionally I still have a batch that bites me. None of this is simple. There is no one solution. So when people ask me, well, what do you do? Well, the first thing I say is I built myself a 3-barrel tumbler. That's the first thing I say, because this was a game changer. Then I started looking at how to inspect the rocks. And despite what some people say out there, these are dry. They have not seen water since March of 2023 when I finished with these. I just want kind of a little tidbit of information here. And this applies to all of your rocks. Once you're done with your medium grit, inspect them thoroughly. Inspect them for cracks, inspect them for blemishes. Now, some materials such as this seam agate, where it has character already, it's not as important other than to make sure that things are clean. But for when it comes to Obsidian, some agate types, some things that you want to have a very good finish on, you've got to take the time and inspect every rock before it goes into pre-polish. Stuff isn't easy sometimes. So, there's a tidbit of information on inspecting rocks prior to pre-polish, mainly Obsidian. When is it important? When is it not important? If you want really good finish, it's very important. If you're after a polish with texture and character, it's not so important. Multiple ways of polishing rocks. So there you go, everybody. I'm going to let you go. Just remember, everyone's life's an adventure. Then there's mine, trying to make Obsidian nice and shiny. This is The Adventures of Jaws Jr. Have a good one, everybody. See ya!